And I'm not surprised
that we're back. we planned it. This week, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Sips, Riffs, and Flix. This is one of your hosts. My name is Brandon.
And I'm Kevin.
So today we're going to talk about something uber disturbing. I don't know if you guys have watched.
Uber disturbing.
Look it up. It's a real thing. Not like the Uber drivers, because they can be disturbing too. But taxi drivers, I think, are even more creepy. Except for Louis Taxi. I love you guys.
Love you guys. Thank you for your sponsorship.
But if you have not watched The Social Dilemma, stop what you're doing after you watch us and then go watch it. Because if you are a human on planet Earth, and more than likely you have at least a social media account, or you watch YouTube or Twitter, some sort of the tech giants, I knew shit was bad. And I knew they were following us and listening to us, but I had no idea the ramifications that this is doing worldwide to people. It's a scary thing.
It is scary.
And one of the big takeaways too, when you watch this, is that because they don't just interview people like me and Kevin or average day Joes. These are former executives, VPs, I mean, big people who are involved in software development, engineer, like wicked smart people. They don't even let their children have social media.
Yeah.
That should tell you everything. Like if I invented an energy drink, so to speak, or something that you could consume into your body, okay?
But then didn't let any of your family drink
No,
it.
no. Guys, you can't drink this.
Don't touch it.
It'll kill you. It will make you feel depressed about yourself. It'll make you, if it doesn't kill you, it will kill someone else, which is another takeaway of the film too.
And to go back to what Brandon was saying, so the people that they're interviewing are the people that, let's just say, like started Instagram. Like one of the guys, and I watched this like 2 weeks ago, so I'm not going to try to say names or titles, but I remember one of the guys, I mean, he basically created Instagram. He was on like the team that created Instagram. And he talks about how he doesn't do social media.
No.
His kids don't do social media. You've got the people that were on the first Facebook team, the first, I don't think TikTok was, TikTok's pretty early, so.
The dude from Pinterest.
Pinterest, yes, that was a big one. So it was Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. They had the guy from MySpace, Sean Fanning, that also did, what was the music? What was it he did? Napster. So Sean Fanning was on there. He was the creator of Napster, and then he ended up joining Facebook. If you've ever seen the Social Network movie, it kind of tells you all that. But like Brandon said,
I've never seen it.
Oh my God, you've got to watch that movie. You have to watch the movie. But these are like the people that started these apps and this social media. Like Brandon said, it's not regular people. These are the people that started it. And one of the quotes that one of the guys says is, when we started this, we knew the possibilities of social media. But one of the guys said, had I known that it would turn into this, I would have never been on the team to create it.
Yeah, but because it's a drug.
Yeah.
I mean, social media is a drug, and I'm fall victim to it. I mean, you know, I'm addicted. We're all addicted to certain things of our phone because it's no longer a phone anymore. It's not used to call someone. Now you're doing all this other stuff. And there's a few quotes, and I got them pulled up here that really resonated with me. And when it says, if you're not, like for Facebook, I don't pay for Facebook. I don't pay for Instagram. I don't pay for YouTube. I don't do YouTube, whatever, where I can watch TV or whatnot. But it says, if you're not paying for the product, then you are the product.
Yeah.
So it's interesting too that in this documentary they show this family and how the devices, like most families, when they sit down to dinner, people are on the phone. They try to take it away, and the mom locks it up and all this other stuff. But then it shows you like goes into the phone or into the machine, and it's got these three guys who are basically, I guess it's the machine, the algorithms that are sending different videos or links or someone, you know, here's a push, here's a this, here's a that, to keep you engaged, because the longer you're on that video, you know, here comes an advertising, and that just made them 3.2 cents or whatever. And I've never looked at it that way.
Me neither. And so these three guys that they're showing as like the machine or whatever, they're basically standing like in three booths, and they've got, you know, touch screens and all this stuff. And they're basically like the way that this documentary makes it seem, which I thought was cool that it used these guys to do this. It's almost like they're like working for these social media companies, and like you're the target. So you out of, millions of people, but it would be like Brandon hasn't picked his phone up in 4 minutes. We've got to get him back engaged.
Yeah.
So it would be like they would go to somebody else. It would be like, okay, well, this person's on Brandon's Instagram and he comments on their pictures most of the time. So let's see how we can get them to share a picture. So then they would share a picture, and then it would make Brandon's phone ding, which would make him pick his phone up, and then here he is engaged again.
Right.
So it was like this whole just
And they
circle.
know that if I'm close to you, like, ooh, look, Brandon and Kevin are close to one another. We can send something to one of them because they're recording a podcast right now. They're not on their phone, so we need to make some money.
Yeah.
So send something to them that's going to make them engage with one another and just pick up the device.
And I've looked at 2 emails since we started this.
See?
Yeah.
But see, one thing that they do recommend towards the end is turn off all of your notifications, which I have all of my notifications turned off. I don't know when I get an email, which if I did that, I have to.
That would drive me crazy.
Well, no, I can't, because I can't keep up with my real job emails, and then
right.
I get other, side business emails and just my personal email. I mean, ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, no, it is like
so
that.
much junk, but I get no notifications when someone sends me a Facebook message or anything on Instagram, which is helpful. And they actually recommend that you do that.
Yeah.
But even with that, I still pick the phone up more than I probably should.
So I'm interested to know, Brandon, since you watched, so you just watched it last night. I watched it, I think it was about 2 weeks ago. I have actually noticed that I'm purposely trying not to be on social media as much since I watched it. Have you been that way?
Well, in the last 12 hours, no. Because I pick up my phone first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
And I wake up, I check my job email first. Then I check other emails. And then I go to social media to see if I have a message or anything from somebody needing a quote or anything like that.
Right.
And then I get lost in a rabbit hole of videos.
Yeah. And then you start sending me like, hey, look at this, watch this, watch this.
Exactly. So I'm part of the problem. And guess what? We're still part of the problem. I feel guilty now doing a podcast.
Yeah.
And so you guys can listen and watch what these two slapsticks on your phone. Another thing that I thought was interesting on there, and what is disturbing, it's not even interesting, and we're in this political climate, and it says social media isn't a tool that's just waiting to be used. It has its own goals and its own means of pursuing them. And they talked about how social media is being used to influence elections, not just in our country, but in other countries, causing social unrest. And they show these other countries where, droves of people and their religion are being pushed out, and there's all these different agendas that can be pushed. And, I was sitting there watching that, and I was thinking,
Sorry.
You're new to this.
I was actually trying to silence my phone.
But if you think about it, and we want to talk about foreign influence and meddling in our elections, well, social media is meddling in our elections every day because they're pushing things to you and to other people, to you as an individual, that's going to cause a spark in you for you to keep looking. Like, doesn't matter if it's not real or not.
Right.
They just want you to click it. It's clickbait. Yeah. And then they're getting paid for that. So it could be this, for example, they use the whole Pizzagate conspiracy and how that led to whatever. Well, so funny you say that, because when I was watching, I was like, look, WikiLeaks leaked out that John Podesta's emails had certain things about pizza and toppings on it.
Yes.
And from everything I've read and interviews I've seen, people in the pedophilia world, pizza is a code word. Okay, maybe John Podesta did order a pizza.
For $10,000.
But why are people having him order them a pizza when he is the head of, he's a bigwig in the DNC?
Over emails, too.
Right. That's just a little bit suspicious. But was it actually at the pizza parlor? No. And I don't think there's anybody who had any real common sense thought that.
Right.
This one gentleman thought that and went and shot the place up. However, there's a lot of, other people who fall into conspiracies that go and shoot up some conservative stuff and shoot senators and other stuff. I digress. But the point of that is they are targeting you for a reason. And they're targeting her and him for a reason. also the more negativity, this is what I have noticed. They send me things that I disagree with because I think I click on somebody who has the opposite opinion of me on things, and I read their post, or I go and find a link to read if what they're saying is true, and then I get lost in the rabbit hole of comments. And so they send me more of that.
Yeah.
Actually, I hate to interrupt, but one of the best things that ever happened to me was a friend's dad who he and I do not agree on pretty much anything politically, but he unfriended me. And you know what? It actually cleared up a ton of negativity in my Facebook feed.
Yeah.
Which is, thank you.
There's a quote on there too. I don't know if you have it, but, and I'll definitely have it wrong, but it was something along the lines of, fake news travels 70% faster than real news, or it was some percentage, and I don't remember what it was. But to go along with what Brandon was saying, the way that it targets people. So let's say, you're a Trump fan and you're all for Trump. Your algorithms and your social medias have learned the things that you click on, so it will continue to send you the things that you support. If you're an anti-Trump person, it knows your algorithms, knows what you click on. It will send you the stuff, fake or not, negative 100% of the time probably. But it's all about keeping people separate. It's about keeping people to align with the views that they already kind of have. And whether it's fake or real or anything, your social media will just flood you with whatever falls along with what your thoughts are.
And it says, one of the things here, if you want to control the population of the country, there has never been a better tool as effective as Facebook.
And that's scary.
That's scary. I mean, you read these quotes and it is just.
Because this is what I always think about. There's a person on Facebook now that I read their stuff. Over the last several months, I've not commented, and I'm not falling back into that trap. But I will say, just fact checking and digging very deep, I would say that 95% of the stuff that he posts is either a flat out lie, or it leaves out parts of the truth to make it fall into the agenda that he pushes.
Yeah.
And that's Facebook. And then you have people that comment, oh yeah, I saw this too. And it takes stuff out of context. It pushes a certain agenda. But then you see comment after comment, and it'll go into a 100 comment thread on something, and I'm sitting there and I watch it and I'm like, but that's not real. Like, that is very fake.
Oh yeah.
But that's Facebook.
But it is. Well, there was a part towards the end of I'm calling it a documentary, where the guy goes, when they invented the bicycle, they didn't think the bicycle was going to impact, a negative impact on humans.
Right.
But a tree is worth more when it's cut down, when it's dead. A whale is worth more when it's dead. And the guy basically, I'm paraphrasing here, he goes, now we as humans, now we're the tree. Now we're the whale. We are worth more as we become more zombified with our devices. And one thing says, social media is a marketplace that trades in human. And think about it, so many social media platforms and the internet is used in human trafficking now, and child pedophilia. I mean, look at all the people who get busted. We hear about these stings and stuff more so now than I have in a long time, about Operation this, Operation that, where they're busting all these pedophiles and they're using social media because they're trying to lure kids in.
Yeah.
An alarming thing to me was when the one gentleman talked about how the rise of depression and suicide in teenagers and preteens has skyrocketed, and it's been since 2010. And they link that back to that's when the iPhone mobile devices were started given to children to carry. Yeah. And I have small kids, and it scares the out of me that how many kids now that are 6 or 8 years old that have a smartphone.
And that's the part of the documentary that hit me the most, because so in this documentary they show this. It's kind of a documentary, but it has like some acting type scenes in it. So they have this family, and there's a girl that's probably 10 or 11 maybe, And it kind of follows her and her social media. And like say, you know, for instance, she'll post a picture and she immediately gets negative comments like
about her ears,
about like, oh my God, look how big your ears are or whatever. So she automatically, she's crying. It ruins her night. She's taking the picture down. She's trying to take a new one. She's fixing her hair a different way and all this stuff. So it goes on to basically talk about how kids have just this false sense of what a person's supposed to look like.
Mm-hmm.
They have a false sense of reinforcement. It becomes, instead of being out in public or being with your friends of, oh, you're so pretty or whatever, it becomes that the social media, the comments become how they see themselves.
Yeah.
And that's what they live for. And it's hard for adults, I think, to think about posting a picture and your whole goal is to get as many likes as you can.
Right.
But we understand that those are fake likes. For kids, it's very real.
Right. That's why we thank you guys for not liking our posts. That way there's no expectation. But, you know, it was sad because that little girl, I mean, there's so much, you know, what is it, body dysmorphic syndrome that goes on. And now the plastic surgeon that was on there saying that he's seeing more teen girls come to him to try to have surgery so they can look more like their Instagram filter.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about that for a second.
And that's the crazy part. So my real job, I'm a director for a large mental health facility. And we have seen over the last 5 years or so, a big increase in kids in middle school that are coming in for depression and they'll talk, during their intakes will say, you know, well, so-and-so was on Instagram and said this, and it becomes like this online bullying situation, and it's super serious. Like these kids, it is very, very personal. Social media for them is very personal.
Well, I think we all need to take a look at the social media and monitor what your kids are doing. And it's telling to me, and I can't remember if I said this earlier already or if I said it to my wife last night. When the people who create it don't let their own children use it, that should tell you kind of all you need to know about it. There are some good things about social media, you know, but unfortunately the bad stuff, it has taken over. If you haven't watched it, you got to watch it.
Yeah, at least watch it. My wife and I, so we have a 17-year-old daughter, and as soon as the show went off, both of us looked at each other and was like, I wish we would have waited longer to give our daughter a phone. Because, I mean, she's a 17-year-old. She's a senior in high school, and I can't think of a time that she does not have her phone in her hand.
Well, any of us. I mean, you know, I'm using my phone to look for the quotes. I was listening to a podcast before Kevin, and we started recording. I mean, the device is part of you.
It is.
And I think when the family, you know, we try to put devices away when we're eating dinner because the kids now have that tablet. But we have timers on it that they can't play it anymore. They can't bring it to the dinner table.
Yeah.
But you can even see it in a 4-year-old, the drug that it really is.
Yeah.
And social media and the machines are a drug. And there was an interesting quote that they said something that the only two businesses that refer to their customers as users is drug dealers and big tech.
Yep.
So
yeah, the takeaway is social media can be used for good. It's got a lot of bad in it, but definitely monitor, have your kids' passwords, be able to check, and do check.
And get outside.
Yeah.
Get your kids outside and play. Yeah. It's okay. It's a beautiful world out there.
And seriously, put your phones down for an hour or two a night. Do
after
family
listen
time.
To us.
Yeah.
Different fun. All right, man. Let's wrap it up.
Yep, I think it's good.
All right, Social Dilemma. Check it out. Like, subscribe, leave some comments, all that other jazz. And we'll see you on the next one.
Thank y'all.